What it do, y'all?
What it is?
What it look like?
Look like this.
Yeah, man. Y'all know how we do.
We do. What's up, man?
Man, I appreciate the love on that beat, man. Appreciate the love on that for sure. We in here on another Monday, man, and you know what that means. It's time to get into some fanboy dreaming.
Dreams. With the
Oh
Fanboy
man,
Dream.
yes, we got to get the people what they want, man. To talk about, all our nerdy whips, wishes, hopes, dreams, all that good stuff. Touch on a little bit of news, but mainly speculate on what y'all want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Because we are here as usual for
the people.
Yes, sir.
Indeed. What's up, man? What's going on? How you doing, man? What's good?
Oh man, it's been a long day. Ready to just sit back, kick back, chill with the Maynes.
Yeah, man. Seems like we having technicals as usual. I don't know what's going on. We fixed the internet. If you was with us during the Visions watch party over the weekend, man, we had a blast. But boy, them technicals was on our man.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, wasn't even funny, but it was funny though.
It was funny though. We had fun. That was like, I think honestly, out of the entire watch party, that was probably the most fun.
Yes, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly, man, because Visions was dope, but it didn't blow me away. I have to be honest. It was dope, but it did not blow me away.
No, it didn't blow me away at all either.
Yeah, man. But
I don't know why.
Doesn't mean it was trash.
But no, it wasn't trash.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But it did rest on a good 7.5 for me.
Yeah, I'm about right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. There was some episodes that I thought was absolute fire, and there was some episodes that I felt like we really didn't need all that.
Yeah, I still haven't seen episode 2. Everybody was like, skip it.
No, right? Yes, the one episode we have not checked out because, everybody was like, we ain't doing that.
I don't know. It had strong Bohemian Rhapsody vibes, and nobody was down for a musical.
Yeah,
hear that, story. Victoria Alonso. Nobody is down for the musicals. You might be able to pull it off in Hawkeye, but I don't know how far that's going to go.
Yeah, man,
it's Christmas.
No, it's
Christmas.
Christmas.
Anybody can get away with that. Yeah, man. Ain't nobody trying to. No. Yeah. See, people saying we ain't missed nothing in episode 2. I ain't think so. They ain't canon anyway.
That part.
So what's the matter? What's up, Vito?
What's up, V? What's good, man? What's good, man? So what we gonna do? We gonna get into a little bit of what if talk. We gonna fanboy dream about some of this Matrix news I done heard about, and then we gonna take it to the Discord, and we gonna see what y'all suggested that we fanboy dream about. Does that sound cool?
Sound cool with me. Maybe break it up a little bit of commercials.
Yeah, man. We got to give the people the commercials, man. We got to give them the commercials.
You got to make sure that they know about that dusty bastard.
Oh man, tell them about it and that uncooked chicken.
Right, done to me.
Done to me. Hell yeah, man. But let's get into it, bro. Let's start with this Visions, man. We got the Party Thor episode last weekend. And, we already broke down the episode, so we're not going to do that again tonight. But what I thought we would do, homie, you tell me if you with it. I think, since in the spirit of fanboy dreaming, why don't we fanboy dream about what we hope comes out of all of this? Because at the end of the episode, we did get a tease of Vistron showing up, ready to wreck shop, man. So, with that tease, man, what do you fanboy dreaming? What do you hope to see, or how do you hope to see that kind of play out?
I mean, when it really comes down to it, I'm hoping that Vision actually wins. I'm really hoping that Vision takes the day, and we get to see what would happen if Ultron Vision had actually came to fruition, like it was supposed to happen, or at least he wanted to happen in Avengers 2.
That's what's up.
So, and then I'm also hoping maybe we get zombie Thanos, and at the end, when he wins, those two face off. Who knows who'll win? Who knows who will win that battle?
Yeah,
right
man.
There. I think I'm probably still gonna hand it to Thanos.
Yeah, I mean, look, you give me a Thanos with Infinity Stones, and that's just OP already. We saw what this man did in Infinity War. Now I know, some people are like, well, are these the same stones? Are these stones from a different universe? Because they shouldn't work.
Right.
There's a lot of shouldn'ts in this What If series, though. Can we agree? There's a lot of things that have happened in this What If series that technically shouldn't go down the way that they went down, but I think they are muddying up the rules quite a bit. And it might not even necessarily be that, the stones, they're going to go back and kind of, you'll have a plot hole with the stones. We don't know, man. We'll have to just see how it plays out. But I'm still going to put my money on Thanos stones or no stones, simply because we saw what happened with Ultron once before, man. Like the Avengers were able to thwart dude. Now, granted, they had the help of Tony Stark to do that, but I just don't feel like, looking at the landscape of these episodes, that you can really let Vistron be super, super OP, because I feel like if this is going to tie into the main Marvel timeline in any way, then you can't muddy or you can't make Kang look weak. And if you have a Vistron walking around wrecking shop and like hopping through multiverses and things like that, then does that really, I feel like that waters down Kang a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah, I feel you, because what if Ultron Vision goes against a Kang that's from a different multiverse? Essentially, I mean, I don't know, maybe he can adhere to the stones when he's in that multiverse, but if he's not from that multiverse, is he also affected because he's not from them?
Right.
Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Does Ultron Vision know where all the Infinity Stones are, so each universe he goes to, he can just go get them?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's
and the point in which he's showing up, it's like it's in between. Like the Avengers haven't even happened yet. There's no formation on that.
Right.
So that kind of, to me, I think facilitates why in the preview, because we ain't seen that yet in the entire What If preview, about that little coming together. You see Black Panther and it's Black Panther and Gamora and Doctor Strange, like all of that. You ain't seen Dark Doctor Strange yet.
Right.
Like walk through with Peggy. That's kind of something. So I'm wondering where it's all going to go.
Right.
I still think Vision needs to go against Thanos.
Yeah, 100, man. He's got to. Like, that's what I want to see. Like, my fanboy dream would be Vistron versus Thanos, and Thanos just whoop his ass. Like, just beat the brakes off that dude. Like,
yeah, man.
Straight up. Or have something happen where they both get like transported somewhere else that we don't know where they end up.
Right.
And we don't see them again until Battle World. So that would be dope, because then, some people might say, well, it's whack if you build up Vistron and he gets whooped by Thanos or zombie Thanos, or, it's whack if Vistron just takes over everything because now that makes Kang look weak. An easy out for that would be let them battle it out and let's find a way to get them, like maybe the Sorcerer Supreme show up and he's like, nah, we got to get rid of y'all. We ain't got time for this kind of right now, and ships them off into another dimension, another multiverse somewhere, and we all get left wondering where the hell they went, and then just have them pay off at Battle World or something like that.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I feel like in this series they'll probably play that off by episode 9, but still leave it with a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
because like I said, they dropped an episode, and it kind of makes you wonder why. So I feel like no matter how you slice it, there's going to be, and they're all aimed with cliffhangers anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
They don't finish the story.
Facts.
You can always come back and revisit it later. And I kind of like Felicity's comment earlier when she's talking about they always end where they should have started. And I think this next episode will finally start where it ended, because I think that would have been a little better to kind of tie in a little bit, maybe what they're trying to do to bring them all together.
Yeah.
But in the end, I just think that they're just they're bouncing around a bit, and I'd like to see them kind of tie this in a bow in the next 2 episodes to where I can at least get hyped for the next season.
Right.
Because apparently it's going to be a next one. I'm not sure if they're going to call it What If. That's the only thing that's kind of gotten me. And I think because of what happened with WandaVision, when, I can kind of agree with you. Maybe they weren't going to have a season 2 if things had went the way it was supposed to.
Word.
But because it went that way, and it seems like they're going to be open to having a season 2, I feel like they're maybe going to change the name of it. It might not be, or it might be WandaVision with a subtitle. Who knows? Something like that. But I think they're gonna try to maybe do the same thing with this one. Maybe in the end, it'll be What If, but maybe it'll have maybe they'll keep What If and just spin off, give him a new show. And it'll be the Guardians of the Multiverse.
That'd be dope. That'd be something that would be really dope. That would be really dope. I'm just like, I'm realizing that for me, just for me now,
right?
The MCU animated stuff doesn't hit the same as Star Wars animated stuff for me. So like, looking at like Clone Wars, Rebels, and even Bad Batch, like I can get into those shows, and the animation or the fact that it's animated doesn't necessarily take me out. But for some reason, like with What If, it does very, very slightly. Not enough for me to say I'm not enjoying it, but it's just something about the way, and I think it's a combination of things. I don't think it's just the fact that it's animated. I think it's the way that they've kind of structured the episodes, and the fact that they really are truly kind of one-offs, and there's no real through line other than the watcher at this point, until there's some connective tissue if you know the background, but it's nothing that's really tying these episodes together in a bow. I think we're gonna get that this week, but again, in the spirit of fanboy dreaming, I really hope that this, looking back on this season, there's something that they do in these last 2 episodes that kind of brings at least this collection of stories together full circle, so that we, whether they resolve it by the end or they leave it as a cliffhanger for another season, just tie that up, let it make sense, and then give me something to anticipate another season. Because right now, if we being real, I wouldn't be mad if they didn't do another season of What If.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they didn't do another season. But it's like, here's my worry. Like, if they continue the What If, and they keep on with the cliffhanger stuff, like, that's how the What If goes. And then they actually do spin another show out of it this season already. Like, will people be expecting that each season? Like, for What If to end with another spinoff or another kind of lead into another show? And if it does, like, will that damage what they're trying to do with the What If? Because I think the What If ones, they're canon. But I think there's still like a certain extent to which they're canon. You know what I mean? Like, not, of course, this is these are multiversal things, different timelines, different stuff happening. So you can make whatever you want.
No doubt.
At the same time, like, it seems like with these, at least with the first iteration, they're tying it so closely together that they're all making, facilitating that another story should come out of it. So I don't know. But if they don't do it this episode, they need to do it in the next season. I need that Ultron Vision getting smacked down by Thanos. But the people seem to think that Ultron's got that, man.
Yeah, man.
Thanos got 21%.
Yeah, man. I see that. I'm like, man, Ultron Vision, like, what? Hey, man, y'all better put some respect on Thanos' name, man.
I'm trying to tell you.
I better put some respect on the Mad Titan name, man.
Hit that poll, man. Let us know who you think you got. Ultron Vision or Thanos.
And if you... Oh, go ahead, man. Finish your thought.
So in a battle. And then trip over that like. What was you saying, man?
Yeah, there you go. Trip over that like. And you got to remember, people. Y'all are forgetting one key. You never bet against purple, man. You never bet against purple, man. I'm just saying.
It's color of royalty.
Just saying, man. But yeah, man, it's gonna be cool, man. I'm interested to see, what they do with it. But honestly, man, like my fanboy dream for What If would be for these last 2 episodes to blow me away more than any episode so far, to bring me from my 7-ish rating up to about an 8.5.
Gotcha. Yeah,
but that's gonna take 2 9s, bro. Like, they gonna have to hit me with two strong 9s for me to do that, bro. That's just is what it is, man.
Facts. But we shall see.
Right.
We shall see what they do with it.
You see how quick that happened on Felicity? Yeah, man. You see how quick they turned, like Thanos. It was all good just a year ago. Now Thanos is like,
they just doing nothing but making fun of him, man.
That's
they
it, man.
Him off, and it made the Infinity Stones obsolete. Not even the ultimate power anymore. Like, Thanos ain't nothing. Everything they do is a parody. It made Thanos a good guy. And
Right.
What If.
Now I want to
all the way down.
I want to get into I'm gonna start calling it, and I mean this with the most sincere jovialness. So don't come at me in my DMs, but I gotta touch on Nikki in the resident hater gallery, because I didn't say it was trash. What If is not trash, and me saying that I want the last 2 episodes to blow me away don't mean that the show is trash. It just means that I want more from the show. I agree, we are in agreement, but it ain't trash, my lady Mayne compadre. Just means I have high standards. You know what I mean? Sometimes ain't nothing between them lines but space, though. It was not meant to throw any kind of shade toward. Look, I got plenty of shade. We can talk about some stuff that could get some shade, but what if I'm still gonna let it make it? Because like the homie Raz said, that T'Challa episode was beautiful, man. That was enough. That was enough to make it worthwhile. I do have high standards. That's why 7 ain't good enough for me. That's the whole point. 7 ain't enough, homie. Like, I expect from the MCU 8.5s or better. That is the standard for the MCU. If you don't hit an 8.5 or better, then nah. Hey, look, I like that. Lady Rogues Gallery. We will. Yeah. That's it. The Lady Rogues Gallery.
Yep, for the Lady Rogues.
It is official.
You are the Lady.
You
Rogues
are the Lady
now.
Rogues Gallery now. Welcome.
Yeah, it is just y'all two. But hey,
it's all good, man. Look, y'all accepting applications, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of dope duos though at the same time. So we should change that Sunday show name now.
Lady Rogues. You go, Lady Rogues.
Just that is big old rogue. Big old rogue.
Look, we always talk about the 2 dudes from the Muppets up in the gallery. That need to be Felicity and Nikki up there.
Right. For sure.
That's what that need to be, man.
Yeah, for sure. So.
Oh man. Raz. I'm gonna leave it alone, bro.
I'm about to say, Raz.
I was gonna come to your rescue, bro, but I'm gonna let you fight that one on your own.
Got to turn you to raspberry if you don't stop.
You know what? I tell you what. The next time I hear Nikki say something positive about something other than Spider-Man, we gonna make a whole damn episode out of it.
Oh man, I'm down for that.
Since she say I don't pay attention to nothing but the hate. You swing some positivity this way, and we will dedicate a whole show segment to it. It's all good though. I just like giving her a hard time, man. That's all. That's all. It's all love, homie. But go ahead. What you
on her.
Speak your mind,
we
man.
Can't be friends.
Facts.
I'm about to say, speaking of negativity and things we don't like. So apparently Marvel's getting sued, or Marvel is suing to keep these rights to the Avengers characters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been a big thing going on for the past few days because, I guess, I don't know. This isn't new, like they did the same thing back in the day with Ghost Rider.
Yep.
When they try to get the rights, the residents try to get the rights to that. But it's like, this is like on a bigger scale now because, now they're messing with our properties, man. They're messing with our Iron Mans, our Spider-Mans, our Doctor Stranges, our Avengers. And like right now things are kind of up in the air. I guess it's because, it's in the beginning. But my fanboy dream out of this is this just goes away. This just disappears and everything goes back to normal. We can confirm things like Spider-Man 4 and Venom crossovers and all this beautiful stuff that we're waiting for. Because this lawsuit's just a bit much. But I don't know. I think Marvel will actually probably come out on top, believe it or not.
Well, they have before, you know what I'm saying? There's precedent for this before. They've sued for this with other characters in the past, I believe. I can't remember exactly who it was, but they won before. There's precedent for this previously. So, and it may not have been Marvel, it might have been DC, but regardless, there is legal precedent for this and reason to believe that they are going to come out on top. And even if there wasn't any precedent, all you gotta do is look at the amount of money they got. When you back by the mouse, your money's so long, you ain't got to worry about. It's gonna get to a point where they just gonna get tired of fighting because they ain't gonna have money to do it no more anyway. So, I mean, you could play the long game or the short game, however they want to run it. But I would say my fanboy dream would be, can we just stop always trying to hoard the happiness? Because that's what I see from this. Now I get it, you know, the states of, you know, what his name? Just
Steve
Ditko and my man, wow. Stan Lee. There you go.
Right.
Like I get that their states want to make sure that they get proper credit for characters they created and so on. But when you have a situation where, and this is a tough thing that I'm saying, this is a tough one for me to even say, but sometimes you got to look at the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? Like, is his estate really that hard up for cash? Like, if they are, then I totally understand. If they really strapped for cash like that, like they ain't got a dime to their name, and Marvel and Disney over here making money like that, then hell yeah, you got every right. But if y'all good and this is just kind of like a power play because you want to have control and interest over something that clearly Stan Lee and Ditko were okay with them utilizing, because I don't ever remember them coming out and saying they had a problem with their characters being utilized by Marvel proper and Disney Marvel. I never heard anybody come out and say that they had an issue with the way that their characters were being portrayed. The only whispers we heard were for comic book writers saying, hey, we just want to make sure we get acknowledged for our content, which I have. If we were talking about that discussion, that's a whole different scenario. But here it's like, okay, well, you're not even the person that created the property, and you want to withhold it from the people essentially because you want to make sure that you maximizing them zeros on that check. Now, normally I'm like, get your money. I ain't mad. But sometimes I'm gonna just be selfish because I'm an MCU fan. Don't you slow up my with this lawsuit.
Right.
Don't do it. We ain't got time. Figure that out.
So Stan Lee, actually, he did sue Marvel. And the reason why that went so low under the public radar was because they kind of like immediately settled out with him. And that's why they put him in all those movies.
Bingo.
Because he renegotiated his deal in order to get that
part. Now, if that's what this is, if they are trying to make a power play like that because they want to get a little bit more of the cut, then I'm cool with that too. Like, we get the business aspect. But what's going on is it's like really now, and I see Felicity says she thinks the problem is the copyright timing is up and not be why. Yeah, and that's exactly why it's an issue now. It's because the timing on it is up, and they decided that they're going to withdraw the copyright because they have the right to do so. Hey, Grissom with the $20 said, really hope y'all have a great week. That is all K. Bye. Grissom, man, look, you already know what it is. We appreciate you, man. Straight up. But yeah, I mean, I totally get that. Totally understand that piece. And again, I'm not saying that they don't have a right to try to make this play. I'm just, the fanboy in me is like, y'all selfish. The only thing about you. Now, we all know in this world, that's all, you got to take care of you. Because who else going to do it for you? So I ain't mad at them. You know, in the grand scheme of things, they got to do what they got to do. I'm just saying the fanboy in me is like, can't we just solve this without the threat of this potential lawsuit derailing everything that the MCU got planned, man? That's all I'm saying, man.
Just get along.
That part.
Just get along. Like,
I guess it's just hard to do that in 2021, man.
Yeah. It's definitely hard to do that in 2021. But we know how that goes. So moving on.
Yes,
really
indeed.
Quick. Seen some of them images for the Last of Us movie.
Yeah.
And it's actually looking pretty good. I had a hard time telling whether or not it was the video game or the movie. So it seems like they're doing it true justice. and it's a Sony studio
Mm-hmm.
deal. So, and it's their game.
Right.
So I'm thinking it's going to be pretty on point as far as what they put in it and the types of things that they keep canon. I mean, the game is just like a damn movie by itself anyway.
Right.
So I'm wondering if they're going to make any kind of differences in the movie as opposed to the game. Have you played the game?
The Last of Us?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, man. I loved the first one. I didn't play the second one because I let the reviews scare me away. I didn't want nothing to do with the second one when I got to reading about the storyline. That's just my own personal preference. I was like, nah, that don't sound like that's for me. But that first game, bro, that first game was everything, man. Like that, the story was incredible. The gameplay was incredible. It was the kind of game that I wish every kind of story-based action adventure game followed that blueprint, because you had a fire single player with a compelling story that was good enough for them to want to adapt into a cinematic project. You had a multiplayer, and this is the one thing people don't talk about a lot. Last of Us multiplayer was probably, for my money, the best multiplayer I've ever played.
Really?
Facts. Like straight up. I played Last of Us multiplayer more than I played any other multiplayer besides maybe 2K. Like I'm talking like even back in my Destiny days, I'm talking like even more than the Division, which I was on tough. I was on Last of Us because I remember it dropped on the 3, then they brought it to the 4, and I went through the multiplayer campaign. Ooh, I can't even tell you how many times, man. I know my level was like somewhere up in the 1200s by the time I actually stopped playing the multiplayer.
Okay.
It was that good though. Like 4-on-4 in most cases, and it wasn't fast paced. You had to be strategic, and it was fun, man. Like I don't know if y'all slept on that multiplayer, man. I don't even know if it's still around there where you can play it, and if there's still anybody even playing that ish. But it's the truth, man. Like fire up that Last of Us 1 multiplayer and tell me you can't have fun with that, man.
Well, my fanboy dream out of that is that I actually enjoy the movie, because as much as you enjoyed that game, couldn't get past it, man. It was another Twilight for me. Put me in the Twilight. I can't.
Yeah, but you're not a zombie guy though. That's part of it.
A zombie guy, yeah. Especially
that's
once
a big part of it.
That was the thing. I was like,
that's a big. I mean, that's like asking you to play the Walking Dead game that wasn't made by Telltale. Like,
right.
Because you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like that's what that's asking for. You know, or that's like what that's like asking you to do, man. So I totally understand that you wouldn't be, but I will tell you this: you got to fight through, or even though you know what, don't even worry about playing the game. Go watch the cut scenes. Like especially if you don't know that story, if you never,
no. I mean, so I actually, ironically, full circle. This was one of the first topics that we covered on that show on the other multiverse.
Oh, yes, indeed.
So I actually had to do some research and learn about 1 and 2 so I could be able to understand the difference and why people weren't too into the second one. But then of course all that folded because when the game came out, everybody was like, "Oh my god, I love this game. It's still just as awesome." They didn't really change as much of the gameplay.
No, they didn't. No, the gameplay, the gameplay I heard was just as tight, if not a little bit better than the original. But it was the story itself that really just turned people off, and that was one of those for me. I was like, you know what? I don't even want to put myself in that position. Now, why can't I have that kind of discipline with 2K though?
I don't know, man.
You want to talk about a tangent fanboy dream? Can I just wake up from that matrix once? You know what I'm saying? Like just one time, can I get the red pill from 2K? They give me with that blue pill I'm telling you, every year, man, it's the same thing. I'm at the exact same spot. We ain't even gonna go on that tangent. I digress. But yes, yes. Last of Us, the movie that the first image looks dope. I'll tell you, I'm gonna go a little different. my fanboy nightmare is that Last of Us becomes completely watered down.
Oh, it's the fanboy nightmare. We don't have fanboy nightmares, man.
Oh man, look, I'm just changing the rules, just temporarily, just to
suit you,
just to suit me. It's my damn show. I'm half of the show. So if I want to make a change,
I have nightmare change.
Then I'm going to look my change. Look. I'm gonna be like Mike Jack and make that change.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
Says, the sound of the Mayne.
Get back.
Hey,
did you just come up with another commercial?
Hey, I think I did.
I think we're gonna have to make that work. We're gonna have to make that. And I have the perfect clip for that. I've got the perfect clip for that. See me after the show, bro. See me after the show.
Oh yeah. I'll be here.
Oh man, of course. But yeah, man, like that's my thing, man. I'm just look, if one more person tell me that I scheduled this lavish fault, because I said the game was on, and I was like, bruh, the Cowboys playing tonight, right? How many people gonna really want to give a damn about what we talking about? Look, Cowboy fans, I'm with you, but last I checked, we was up 20-7. If Philly ain't got no closer, we gonna be all right. Just hang with your boys. You know what I'm saying?
Mayne knows is good right now.
Hang with your boys. Now, look, if that score had said 14-14, I'd have been like, conversation and libation time, even though we've been on for 5 minutes. But we in here, man. We in here. We gonna make sure to at least get that fourth quarter. 27-7, bro. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Come on. Even Philly fans done gave up. Now they like, man, what's going on? They done went back to cussing out Ben Simmons. Oh man.
I don't know, Felicity.
We might be. We just might be. You know what I'm saying? We just might be.
The right.
Look, now they trying to realize why we moved from Thursday night football. We nerds, but we like sports. We like sport ball.
Oh yeah, man.
I'm saying, man. It might be a Main Authority sports show here sometime soon. You never know.
Never know. Never ever know. And then I guess last bit before we get into these commercials, apparently new news. The Flash.
Yes.
So when it comes down to Supergirl, when I put that in the poll, if you guys are feeling this Sasha Cale Supergirl, it's supposed to be like Clark Kent's daughter in the future in a different multiverse. Yeah. She looks closer to a Henry Cavill. She looks a little Hispanic for the actress, but I mean, they can pull it. She actually looks almost just like the cartoon comic book version.
Okay.
But out of that, they was talking about that there may have been a HBO Max series for that Supergirl, but they kind of debunked that. But apparently, there's supposed to be a Supergirl film. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but a couple years ago, when we were all fanboy dreaming about Man of Steel 2, we got the news that they were possibly going to do a Supergirl before they even revisited Man of Steel. And so apparently it's going to be Sasha Cale's Supergirl character taking over and at least pushing forward on that Supergirl film. But at the same time, for me, I think I want to switch it back to a little fanboy dream.
Yep.
And why don't you guys just make it an HBO Max series and tie it in with that Red Hood Nightwing Batgirl that we got going on? Like, why would you skip over that series there, that little multiverse thing that you got going in there, giving that some more multiversal implications, and just put Supergirl with that? Because I don't know, this poll seems to be dying as far as how many people are actually feeling her, and down to a good 58%. I mean, it's still over half, but it seems like for the no's, a lot of people really haven't asked for this. So why don't we just make this a series? HBO Max it. Give us like an hour. What do you think? You think you check out the movie first or a little series?
Movie.
Supergirl.
Movie.
You check out the movie?
I have zero interest in Supergirl at all. None whatsoever. And that's
not
not because
CW.
No, it's not even that. It's not even that. I'm just not, from a DC standpoint, my DC fandom is very, very limited. Like I don't get into kind of the ancillary or the B tier DC characters as much. I really only, prior to the proposed Zack Snyderverse, was only messing with Batman and Supes anyway, to be honest. Like Green Lantern, Flash, Aquaman, Wonder Woman really didn't fool with any of them prior to, you know, the movies that started dropping around. What is that, 2015, 2016? I really wasn't into those characters that much. But then when they were coming and I realized that they were trying to do that MCU thing and they was possibly, you know, talked about the Justice League movie prior to us actually getting the first Justice League movie, I was kind of hyped. Then I was like, okay, yeah, let me go back and do my research. Then we got Justice League and I was like, nah, I better just let that stay with the DC sweaties because this ain't for me, man. I got enough negativity in my life with Star Wars. I can't do Star Wars and DC, man. But I will say this: the reason I said the movie is because if I go to the movie, and that's my entry point, and she's dope, and it's a story that I want to see more of, then that's gonna make me want to go check out a streaming show. Whereas I don't want to get into a streaming show that then I turn around and realize I don't like. And I'm like 4 or 5 episodes in and I'm like, man, you could have just put this in a movie. But that's my whole lot. That's my logic behind it.
I feel you. No, I mean, shoot, that makes sense to me. I'm down for that too. Totally down for that too.
No doubt, man. Well, but it's gonna be crazy to see what DC is able to pull out, man, because
yeah, man.
You know, there was talk last week, I think, that they were so happy with the Flash movie over there that they was already talking about a sequel and kind of building that out. So, you know, we've heard that kind of news before in the DC camp. So take that with a big grain of salt. But you know, I'm holding out hope, man, because to be quite honest, MCU is going to need some competition here real soon. Because if not, and we talked about this before, but if DC don't come correct, man. Matter of fact, I think we talked about this way back during DC Fandom last year.
Yeah.
DC being in the game, DC being relevant, forces Marvel to keep their game on point.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They got to keep the game tight like Kobe on game night. You know what I'm saying? They got to do it. They got to, as long as they got competition. If there's nobody out there, then the quality of the MCU will start to deteriorate. If you think that's false, just check out other examples like, I don't know, Madden, 2K.
Yeah.
What WWE for that matter?
Yeah.
Three different properties that because there was no competition, they got comfortable and it's just been the same stale BS for the last couple decades. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't want to see the MCU get there.
No, but I mean, we got DC Fandom coming up here soon. We got that coming in October, which is supposedly supposed to give us that new Batman trailer that we've all been waiting for, because it's just been a long time since we've seen anything from you, Batman.
That's right.
It's been a minute. So we got that going. You know, there's supposed to be a lot of things popping off next year. And I think, you know, we are heavily focused on DC. You know, I'm a DC guy. But, you know, we got this Flash thing is supposed to be popping off. Batman is supposed to be popping off. Then we get Umbrella Academies that we're hoping we get coming back again, season 3 next year. The Boys is going to be dropping. They're supposed to be working on a spinoff for The Boys. That's supposed to like focus on like a superhero college type vibe. And I think we get a taste of that in The Boys season 3 with how they're spinning that. They're getting away from more of the public local eye, more into the origin. When you get your boy Jensen Ackles coming in there playing Soldier Boy, it's kind of what I want to see.
Is he gonna crank that?
A lot of other I don't know. Let's see.
Is he gonna crank that? That's what I want to know.
Right. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what we're getting with all these properties and if DC can pull through. I guess Fandom will be the starting point on seeing if it's gonna be dope or not. If it's gonna be dope or not. But I say, why we get into some commercials?
Why don't we get into some commercials, man? Why don't we do just that?
Let's do that. So let's pop that on.
Pop on these commercials. And then we will be right back.
After these commercials.
You already know, my friend.
Yes, sir. feel like I'm in an Italian bar.
We gon' jazz it up, we gon' snazz it up with that purple drink. We gon' razz it up, we gon' snazz it up, we gon' jazz it up with that purple drink. We gon' razz it up, we gon' snazz. Huh? What? Really? Oh, dang. It sucks having to go home after making a purple drink commercial. People call your names.
Whatever, asshole.
Even walking down the street looks bleak. Look at this. I ain't even got a ticket. Ugh. Traffic sucks. Man, nothing seems to go right. When I get home, my wife look like she about to beat my ass.
Oh no, she better get that damn purple drink money too. Better bring that home.
So I sit down at the table. She still know what I need. Some of that purple drink. Oh yeah. There's a new tune after that. Hook it up. Snazz it up with that purple drink.
Burning the beat, what? Oh, we got watermelon for the
Nothing
black
unites family like a good bottle of sauce to go with your great summer barbecue.
Who made the potato salad?
Al's Sauce has been known to bring people of all colors and creeds together in the spirit of barbecue.
Sauce, huh? Oh, man, that's too much sauce. Never. Shut up, motherfucker.
Bring it over for a good time, whether you're black, white, it doesn't matter.
Hey, that chicken ain't done, man. Done to me.
If you ain't got the sauce, then that's your
Oh,
loss.
man. I'm a no motherfucker.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute, we out of sauce. Man, this ain't no sauce.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Oh, well, you dusty bastard. Al sauce is made with the best ingredients this side of the Mississippi. If you're gonna give me something, it's gotta be the sauce.
This made in New York City?
If you ain't got the
sauce.
sauce,
That's your loss.
here's the sauce made with the best you ever seen in your life. If you ain't got the sauce, then motherfucker, that's your loss.
Greetings, humans. I am Optimal Prime. We are here to tell you we support the Mayne Authority. Like, subscribe, join the Discord, support on Patreon. We are the Mayne Authority. We are here. We are the authority. Remember, Maynes, go get that bag. Autobots, let's roll up.
There we go. There we go. Love them mercers, man. Love them mercers.
Gotta love them.
Shout out to Optimal Prime.
Yes. Optimal Prime.
Optimal Prime. Indeed,
He's gonna
son.
roll up.
Indeed, he's gonna roll up. Yeah.
Him and the Autobots.
Yes, sir.
What would the Decepticons be?
Oh, we gonna have to figure that out.
Deceptimains?
I'm with it.
Mainacons.
Mainacons. That would be funny.
Hey, I think we have to go with Mainacons.
I think so. I think so.
We must protect the humans from
Yes.
the Mainacons. Bumblebee. You have to come up with a name
Yeah.
of Bumblebee too.
Right.
It'd be Bumblemain.
Bumbleman. No, you gotta be, matter of fact, you gotta be Mumbleman.
Yeah. Mumblemain. He's got a he wears a ski mask.
Yes. Yes.
Perfect.
Oh man. Yeah,
Yes,
man.
that's what we gonna do, man. Mumblemane
Mumbleman.
with the ski mask on.
With the
purple.
Yeah, let's do it.
The Z, we're gonna give him the Zemo mask.
Yes.
Good evening there, the Lonely Banter. Always a pleasure.
LB, what's good, man? How you doing on this lovely Monday, man?
Hopefully having a good Mayne day.
Hope so. Hey, I like that. Mayne Day.
Mayne day.
Mayne Day. I like that.
Mayne
I like
day.
that.
Well, I kind of wanted to get into this this Matrix theory that you have, because, or that you've heard, or however you'd like to cite it.
No doubt.
It sounds actually pretty interesting. It actually, man, gets me a little hype to see if it's true or not.
For sure. So yeah, man, I'll, scouring the interwebs, looking for the news and the scoops, trying to find out what's good, and came across something that I think it was, I want to make sure I give the proper shout outs. I believe Matrix Explained, their YouTube channel, had a little bit of info on it, as did the Film Theorist. So go check out both of those channels if you want to get the nitty gritty on it. But essentially, they were talking about a little theory with this Matrix Resurrections movie, that in the movie, the first 3 Matrix movies actually they did not happen. Now you might ask, well, how the hell can you make a sequel about 3 movies that didn't happen?
Right.
Well, you see, what they are proposing is that these movies were in fact just that. Movies. That in the Matrix Resurrections, we will learn that those 3 movies and the events that took place were merely movies that exist within the Matrix, and that one Thomas Anderson is perhaps the writer and star of that Matrix trilogy, and that this is a way for the machines to kind of bamboozle everybody who was in that previous iteration of the Matrix, who would of course have memories of what happened in that Matrix, because if you'll recall, Smith took over everybody. So when, this machines uploaded the Prime program through Neo at the end of Matrix Revolutions, Smith was wiped out, but all of those people were still connected to the Matrix, which stands to reason they would possibly have, even on a subconscious level, memories of what happened in that that last Matrix iteration. So how do you resolve that if you are the machines? You say, oh, well, yeah, of course. The reason you have memories of that is because these are actually movies. And Thomas Anderson is a writer and potentially the star of those movies. That's why he's just going bat crazy. It's because he thinks that the movies were real. So I got to chewing on that. And I was like, that is a very interesting proposal for a movie setup. And one of the other things that they talked about was how the first Matrix trilogy was really a commentary, if you will, on kind of the future of American or the future of not just American, but society, and kind of our dependence on technology and what that would look like for us in the future. So it was kind of like I was reading an article where Keanu had mentioned that when he saw the movie, he said that essentially the Wachowski that wrote and directed this movie had essentially, when they did the first Matrix movie, they kind of unknowingly created a commentary that set up the next 20 years of what technology and society would look like. And that somehow with this movie, they've designed, or they've created an outlook for the next 20 years of what technology and society's interaction would look like. And what stood out to me with that is, when you look at the trailer, there's a scene where I think my dude's in an elevator or something like that, but he's surrounded by people and they are all plugged into their phones. They are like super into their phones. Everybody's kind of looking at some kind of portable device. And that struck me because I'm like, that's just like what we deal with today. Like everybody is in their phones and on social media, and that is your reality at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like we literally have become a society, and quite literally in the last, I would say 18 to 24 months, have become a society where our identity is tied to is almost integrated into our reality and our identity and who we are as people. It's not so much about the person that you are It's about what you perceive or what other people perceive you to be based on the self-image that you put out for consumption. So when you think about that, like that gives this movie the potential to be like real heavy and super meta, because this could end up being something where we just thinking that we going in seeing a continuation of those other movies, but this might really take us in a direction where I feel like this might be on some Inception type stuff, where this is going to like spawn conversations and debates and discussions about not just the movie itself, but what we believe is reality and what's real. I think that's what this movie is going to endeavor to do. I think this movie is going to try to really make us think about how we view and perceive reality right now. Now, I'm not saying it's going to pull the wool from over anybody's eyes or give us any type of revelation that's going to let us know that we living in a simulation, which quite honestly, I kind of wish sometimes that this was a simulation.
Right.
But it's like, it's really going to be interesting to me to see what they do with this movie, man. But what do you think about that theory? You think that holds any weight from what you've seen? Do you think you see ways that could potentially tie into the comics? Because I know you did some research going heavy into the comics, which I actually have a couple other points I want to touch on that kind of strengthen this as well. But I want to get your thoughts first, man. What do you think?
Based on the trailer, yeah, I can see in ways that it could hold water, because they got them going through mirrors and all that types of stuff, and like the gravity and some of the scenes just look a little too surreal. So I mean, I could see them trying to do that, but I mean, ultimately, I think they just need to explain the things that you've brought up. It's like, how do you? Gloria, good.
Hey, mama good.
$30.
And since she did just give us such a generous donation, I will let her know that no, I did not go to the button as soon as you showed up. I've actually used the button the whole episode. So there has been no cursing whatsoever. How the you love that?
Yeah, he's ready with that button.
Oh, look, I stay on that button now, man. Stay on that button now, bro. Me and the button is best friends.
But yeah, I don't know. I would rather them explain the things that you brought up. Like, how are the rest of the people who were tied into the Matrix affected by Smith?
Mm-hmm.
How are they trying to play that off now? Is the therapist a normal thing that they do now for those who were affected by the previous Matrix?
So I have something on the therapist also.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, because it's
not the therapist. I take that back. Not the therapist, but the other gentleman in the trailer. My dude that was in the suit that was saying he can't believe that Neo was going back to where it all started, back to the Matrix.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yes.
That guy. Yeah. Okay. So you got some info on him.
So in this theory, he is an agent.
Okay.
He is Neo's booking agent. And that's the whole like catch is this whole world is kind of set up to keep Neo from realizing that he's really like what his past was. And in this, Trinity may not even be real. Trinity, they postulate the Trinity is a clone. And the reason that I said that the comics tie in is because apparently there is a book in the comic series where they actually cloned a person due to there being a some type of a extraterrestrial threat that was threatening to wipe out the planet. And so the machines basically cloned this dude in order to give him the ability to help deter this threat in real life. And so I was like, that's interesting as hell, because if you've already got and I've got another one for you also. If you've already set a precedent for clones in the Matrix, then that would explain that scene in the trailer where you see Morpheus kind of being put together, almost like his residual self-image, or almost like one of these new Terminators from, if you've seen them crap movies recently. Like Almost something like that, to where it's like, well, that would make sense, and then that would explain why Morpheus is back if Morpheus is technically dead. That's not Morpheus, it's a clone of Morpheus. That's not Trinity, it's a clone of Trinity. What I'm really interested in seeing kind of how that plays out and who this Bug character is truly, because I don't think it's going to be as simple as this character Bug, which is the one with the blue hair, the red pill with the blue hair in the trailer. I don't think she's just as cut and dry as being the new Trinity. I think she may very well even possibly be Trinity, the original Trinity, and that this is just a new RSI or residual self-image for her. And the reason I think that is because if you look at the trailer, there are a couple of scenes where when you look at when Thomas Anderson is looking in the mirror, his reflection is different. It's not the same person.
Yeah, that little CGI. Yeah,
that weird looking CGI thing, man. I think what that's basically pointing to is the fact that maybe the world sees Neo as that guy in the mirror, but Neo is Thomas Anderson is seeing himself as Neo because he remembers what happened in that last iteration. So that's a really interesting point. Another one was there was another comic story where there were people. There was a comic story where they actually went to the movies to go in the comic to go see the movie The Matrix, and that when they came out, it was one person that was amongst the group who felt like the movie was real, and everybody that went with him to the movie was trying to convince him, nah, man, you tripping, it's just the movie. And the catch was, come to find out, all of those people were in on it. They knew that he was on to something, but like they were doing everything that they could to keep him from realizing that he was on to something. And so one of the theories I was peeping was saying that they think that this story for Resurrections may be loosely based on that comic. I can't remember the name of that comic. I'll be sure on Thursday because I want to touch on this again on Thursday because I'm still doing a little more research on it. But I'll make sure to grab the name of that comic when we touch on this on Thursday. Yeah. But that's the kind of the strength behind that particular theory. And I gotta say, man, like that tracks to me with a lot of what we were hearing, what I've heard about what this movie is going to be, and when you know the writer describes it. And when some of the actors describe it, they talk about it in a way where this movie is gonna like blow people's minds, but not from an action or a cinematic standpoint, but more so from a debate or discussion on the subject matter. So if that's the case, man, then I can really see this kind of being almost a movie within a movie,
right? Just
like our whole Matrix within a Matrix conversation. And that may be the explanation for how all of this works out. Now, the one thing that I'm still not too sure about is how characters like Niobe and the Merovingian will fit into it if that's the case. Like, are they still, are they aware of what's going on? Do they know? Are they still like laying low or what's the deal? Because I thought at first that the Merovingian would be that dude that they're saying is Neo's agent. I thought that just might be him, kind of like a new version of him. But
I think they're bringing him back.
Yeah, exactly. They're bringing that. They confirmed that they're bringing him back, so that takes that out. Yeah. They also, if you look in that scene, there's two things in that scene with that dude that kind of support this idea of them saying those last ones were movies, and in the grand scheme of things, didn't actually happen in the Matrix. One is that in the back of my man when he's talking, there's a placard or something on his desk that has the letters DM kind of into it. And people were thinking that stood for Deus Ex Machina. So they're thinking that might be the machine god that you saw at the end of Revelations, right. That might be that dude, that he may work for Deus Ex Machina. There's another thing in that same clip where there's a bust, a bust of a head in the back. And if you look at it, it actually looks like a real life bust that was made to commemorate the Matrix Revolutions, where it's a bust of Agent Smith when Neo caught him in the jaw, and you can see the fist imprint. And so people were saying, that if that's that bust in the back of that, then that strengthens this whole idea that they're going to try to play it off as that these were just movies. Because why else would that character have a bust of Agent Smith just on his desk in the back? You know what I'm saying? Unless he's Neo or Thomas Anderson's agent, if you will. And, they're trying to play this as if, oh, well, no, you're just having these episodes because you're going crazy or because you're dealing with some kind of a psychiatric issue as a result of whatever. And you got to take these blue pills to help you maintain. Because that was another one of the themes that they said that it's going to touch on is the idea of mental health and kind of the way that we deal with mental health in this country. So this movie's going to touch on a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really feel like it's going to go in a lot of different directions. And my fanboy dream is that whatever they do with this, that this creates a new foundation for this to go on. Clearly, we know they trying to set this up for some sequels or at least a series or something like that. You know what they doing. But if they do it, at least do it in a way that doesn't, one, rehash what we already know, but then in a way that opens up the world of the Matrix in a way that allows us to touch on a whole, like blow this open in the way of like an MCU or a Star Wars universe where the actual Matrix is just the backdrop. You know what I'm saying? Where we now have a place or a universe where you can do one-off stories, kind of like what we saw with the Animatrix, what we saw with the comics and things like that. And those can exist on their own within that universe. That's my fanboy dream, because it's, number one, I feel like my fanboy dream is coming true because we actually getting this Matrix sequel that I was hoping for years that we would get. You know what I'm saying? But what about you, man? Are you on that same wavelength? Like, where do you want to see them go with the movie?
I was about to say, I'm probably about to disappoint you a little bit, Al.
Oh man, I'm ready for it.
Because my fanboy dream is, this is one and done. You do this and you end it. Do not resurrect the Matrix. Leave it where it's at. You just explain maybe what's going on with Mr. Anderson and just leave it alone after that. Okay, like why are we trying to revisit the Matrix for what reason? I like the way it ended, and you guys carried it on with the game. Great, just leave it alone. But I mean, because I've seen something, and a little spoiler alert. So that scene where they're on the roof and he redirects the missile, then they run in and they jump and they leave it open.
Yep.
You don't know what's gonna happen. Well, it looks like what happens is your boy just remembers who he is and he flies back off. Okay, so he's Neo. We know. We got this. We understand. What kind of new threat are we? I mean, again, to me, if you want to, if I'm gonna be on your side at all and try to be a fanboy dream on the positive, then John Wick 1 through 3 also has to be canon.
Yes,
if they're making the Matrix a movie.
Get the hell out of my head, man, because I was literally gonna say the same thing. Because if you think about it, you could very well do that, and you could very well say, like, we see him in the thing, and he's Thomas Anderson, right? Now this is fanboy dreaming for real. But what if you get in this movie and you realize that or they try to tell you something like Thomas Anderson is Neo's government, I'm sorry, I'm getting it wrong. That Thomas Anderson is Keanu Reeves' government name. So how meta and how crazy would it be if you've got Thomas Anderson, everyday guy that becomes a Hollywood star, changes his name to Keanu Reeves, and they, according to what the Matrix is trying to tell dude, and they go, no, you're Thomas Anderson, but remember, you changed your name to Keanu and you started doing all of these movies. You did John Wick, you did this Matrix, you did Bill and Ted, you did Speed. Like,
don't do that.
No, dude, that would be so. Yes, because that would be dope. Because then you start really playing with people's emotions to be like, bro, what's real and what's not. Especially if you do it in a way. Now, again, you don't have to mention or show John Wick or any of them things, but please remember that this was a very, very strong rumor that had some traction back when Matrix 4 and John Wick 4 was supposed to release on the same day. Because it was supposed to be May 21st, 2021. Those movies were scheduled to launch on the same day. And everybody speculated as to why you would drop both of those movies on the same day. And everybody was theorizing that those movies would be connected somehow. I mean, if you think about it, I'm like, yeah, it's a little bit out there, but ain't John Wick a little bit out there? Like that, the idea of that universe itself, ain't that a little bit out there? That this dude with all them damn bullets flying ain't never caught one. Like seriously, man. Let's just take it there. You trying to tell me John Wick don't got Neo vibes?
I mean,
you
obvious.
trying to exactly? I'm saying like take the idea of Keanu, like the fact that Keanu looks like John Wick in this movie out of it completely. But you trying to tell me, like, think about, because one of the things I read a theory a while back where what they were saying was that the John Wick universe was created by the machines as a place to kind of keep Neo busy. Because what do you do with somebody with all that power? You know what I'm saying? If you've already, and now, and I'll take it, let's tie it back to the Matrix there, since everybody still think that I'm crazy. Check this out.
We don't use that word here.
Exactly. But peep this. Who won the original Matrix? Who came out on top in the original Matrix trilogy?
In the original Matrix trilogy?
Yes, by the end of the trilogy.
I guess the humans.
Wrong.
No,
and I'll tell you why it's wrong. Because who's still in control? The machines.
In this iteration, apparently, yeah.
No.
I mean,
at the end of Matrix 3, the machines are still in control. They are still the one. They still have people. All that Matrix 3 did was say, okay, for the people who want to wake up, we'll let them wake up. But they would still have to do something if Zion if the humans got to a point where they pose a threat against the machines. You think they would just sit back and be cool with that because there's a truce?
Right, and that's what I was about to say. That takes into account whether or not the Matrix Online is canon, because and I would say it would have to be, because they're introducing the general character as well.
Yes,
in this movie. So, if that's canon, then yeah, there's a point in which the robots do kind of uprise again because they have those bombs,
right?
And they find out about it, and I think they go wipe them out though. But that's just not to say that they didn't go kill the most hostile ones and keep, the more weaker ones to restart a Matrix.
Right, so, but essentially, the point is, if you're the humans, wouldn't the end game be to destroy the Matrix and to liberate yourselves from the machines?
For the humans.
Right. So then if you didn't do that at the end of the Matrix trilogy, then you didn't win. The machines just gamed you again. That was literally the whole thing. That's why the architect came to the Oracle at the end of the movie and was like, you played a very dangerous game, because she basically just found a cleaner solution for the machines to still run game on humans. That's all that was, because everything that Neo did was to facilitate exactly what the architect wanted, which was for his code to be disseminated back into the Matrix, for them to be able to reboot it and start the whole thing all over again. All this does now is it's like, oh, well, if the machines or if the humans happen to wake up in the Matrix and decide they want out, we'll let them out instead of wiping them out. But the machines are still the ones holding all the cards. So in my opinion, like, once people start to realize that, there's going to be an uprising again, or like to your point in the game, you're going to have people who or factions will start to arise based on how people look at this new reality. You'll have some people who still want to reject it because they know what's going on. You'll have some people who are fighting for that because there's peace that Neo facilitated. And then you'll have people that are like, nah, man, y'all didn't give us Neo back, so we got a problem. So like that all can still make sense. And then you do this movie to realize, well, then what the hell? Because the question still remained, well, what exactly happened with Neo at the end of the Matrix? We saw that he, quote unquote, died, but where did they take his body? What exactly happened with that? We went into the game, his body was never recovered. That's what Morpheus was fighting to get back. So that's why I'm saying, exactly. So, as out of this world as it sounds, if you create take the John Wick, that's fanboy dreaming to the fullest. fine, fair. We'll take John Wick out of it. But the idea of Neo or Thomas Anderson waking up and being in this new world and feeling like something is off, and him being told, nah, man, that's just you. You got a problem. Second Street Marvel. Look, you might not be wrong, bro.
No.
I'm just saying, you might not be wrong because that's what I meant. That's what I meant when I said this movie is going to be meta, because I think they're gonna touch on all kind of shit with this movie, man. And it's gonna be a lot bigger than just a sequel to a trilogy of movies that came out in the early 2000s. They're going to, like, even I was listening to an interview with Lana Wachowski, and she mentioned she had no interest in doing anything with the Matrix anymore. And then her parents passed, and she was grieving, and the only thing she could think to do, she said, she just got the idea for this story, and it just started pouring out. So that tells me that, again, this isn't now if we take everything that she said at face value, that means that Warner Brothers didn't come to her and say, hey, we need you to crank out another one of these.
Right.
She did this on her own volition. So that means she's telling the story she wants to tell. And when you look at kind of the type of movies that they've done, the stories and the interviews that her and her sister have done post Matrix trilogy, and how in explaining that and what she's doing, like, this is kind of another avenue for her, or another chance for her to use that avenue to give her commentary on where she is. I know I saw Trinity posted in here, the Matrix trilogy was an allegory for transgender people, and for a person that literally was what Lana Wachowski and her sister wrote. That original movie was supposed to be a trans allegory. So again, there's precedent for them to take these movies and create I don't want to say a narrative, but to give them a theme that is bigger than what we see at face value. So again, as long as it's dope, it's gonna be, I'm all for it. And I really do think this movie's gonna be dope, man. I really do.
I think it's gonna be dope. I'm hoping, whatever they put in it is gonna be groundbreaking again.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get another bullet time type thing going down. If not, it's all good.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Let's not fully resurrect the Matrix. Let's just give us an answer to Neo and leave it at that.
So is that a thought because of the Matrix specifically, or are you just like over the reboots?
I'm just over the kind of the reboots.
I'm with that. I totally respect that, because reboots are getting old.
Let's get some original stuff going on, man.
Agreed.
Or if you're gonna reboot something, and I understand, the Matrix was a profitable IP. I get that, but it's like there's so many other things that if we were to pour that same kind of money and attention into, that could be great. It could be equally as great.
But I think you're sleeping on how iconic the Matrix was, though.
I'm not actually. It's just like, it's okay. Would you want a Back to the Future reboot?
Not a reboot, no, but a sequel, yes. Don't reboot it. Do not reboot it. Well, let me say this. If you're going to reboot it, make it a soft reboot. Don't go back and recast and say, no, this is how it actually happened. But give me a soft reboot that doesn't touch those first three movies and allows you to continue telling that story. I'm cool with that. As long as it's good. Totally cool with that.
I'm asking the people.
But to your point, I agree.
I just want some
overall, yes, I'm tired of rehashes overall. But my point, or the way I look at it, is if you're going to reboot something, at least reboot something that has, or at least reboot a property with ideas. And thank you so much, Felicity, for giving me the lane I needed to tie this back to Star Wars, because that's exactly it. If you're going to reboot something, reboot it the right way. Don't reboot it for the sake of commercialism and trying to reach a new demographic and trying to Disney-fy a damn thing. Make it like it was in the OGs and build and grow in the spirit of a Dave Filoni. Make it happen like that. Don't give me some character that I don't know nothing about and then try to tell me that she's more powerful by demonstration than Luke, Yoda, and Obi-Wan combined. I don't want to hear that shit. And yeah, I'm extra salty because after watching Last Jedi last week, I turned around over the weekend and watched Rise of Skywalker because I had to finish because I'm a completionist. And if that movie don't piss you off as a Star Wars fan, then nothing else will. Because boy, that movie make me mad every time I see it. Why the hell would Han Solo be the one to come talk to Kylo Ren in that moment? I get that that's his father, but damn it, that should have been Anakin. I'm sorry.
I agree.
And why?
And I guess.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, because I gotta let it out. And why the hell were Poe, Finn, and Rey acting like they've been on all these damn adventures together, and that it was a big thing for them to like be all together one last time, and we ain't see them together once in the first 2 movies of that busted ass trilogy? Oops, I forgot the button. Mama, good. My bad. They got me started, man. Like, oh man. Look, when it come to sequel trilogy hate, Felicity, we are locked in agreement. Please don't get it twisted. I know I be trying to glass half full of that sometimes, but look, make no mistake, I know what it is with the sequel trilogy. I just try not to let the hate flow as much because, you know, that's the easy, quick path to the dark side.
Well, I guess to tie this into some conversation and libation
Indeed,
with
sir.
Fanboy Dream Maynes on the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
The homie Jared came through and he said his fanboy dreams for Star Wars to move on from the Skywalker story.
Yes.
Said he's tired of it.
I agree.
He's tired.
100%.
Well,
like, how much more context can you give us?
So, what would they move on to then?
This is so easy. This is a layup, bro. It's so hot in here.
I want to know.
It's a layup, man. This is what you do. And we talked about this a little bit.
Yeah, we did.
You do a movie that's set a minimum of 100 years after Rise of Skywalker. Minimum 100 years. And then what you do is you take the elements from that Star Wars Visions episode, The Twins, and you give us 2 new twins. They're not Skywalkers. They're not anybody of any significance that we know. But have them discover the buried lightsabers on Tatooine with no context. And let's follow them on their adventure to try to understand the significance of those weapons and let the discovery of those weapons awaken something in the Force stronger than what anything that we have ever experienced. Why would that happen, you ask? Because those sabers have such historic significance and are imbued with the energy of the Force dyad. So something that strong and that powerful could stand to reason to be a beacon for some kind of evil. What kind of evil, you ask? One that could be either known of by or even spearheaded by one Grand Admiral Thrawn. And you make Thrawn or the Yusak Vong or some new person that's past the unknown regions the threat. And have them come to not just destroy or bring. This isn't about the dark side or the light. This is about universal domination. This is about somebody wanting to exude their power over the entire galaxy, universe, everything, regardless of allegiance. And those 2 twins, we end up finding out, are the keys to putting together the group or the force that will destroy that particular threat. And you take it way out beyond the Skywalkers. You can bring back some of those characters. I mean, Grogu will still be around, so you can still do something with Grogu. You know what I'm saying? But everybody else would be gone because 100 years, there is no Finn, there is no Poe, there is no Rey, there is no Ben Solo. All of them are gone. So we not rehashing that all over again. There is nobody. The most you would be able to get is a Force Ghost, if that. if that. But basically, this would be what you would have are two people who are now, in a meta way and in a very literal way, responsible for defining the Force and what it means as we move forward in the Star Wars universe. It is no longer tied to the Sith or the Jedi because that time has gone and passed. So that's the way I would do that. If you want to reboot or you want to take Star Wars beyond the Skywalker saga, that's all you got to do. Go 100 years minimum into the future and do a story where that surrounds, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the lightsabers that she buried. It could be any Force related relic. Any Force related relic. And let that be the catalyst for whatever the next big Star War is going to be.
I can go with that. But yeah, we got to keep the dyad. I like that little dynamic that they put in there. I have no idea why they introduce it and kill it off.
Right. Well, see, the twins could be a dyad as well.
Right. Yeah.
Those twins. Yeah. But yeah, I don't understand why they got scared. They up when they did the sequel trilogy. They had a great idea and they got scared because they didn't think people would be able to respond to it.
That was dope.
And that was the best part of that movie by, if you ask just about anybody.
Yeah.
That concept itself was dope because not only did it explain and legitimize all of the interaction that we saw between Rey and Kylo in the first two movies, but it actually evolved Star Wars into something new. Like that was a concept that we really hadn't touched and really hadn't explored in Star Wars. And that was a way that they could, if they had used that in a smart way, then the content we could have gotten post Rise would have been amazing. But that's what happens when you ain't got no plan. We didn't been there and talked about that. I ain't got to say it no more.
Well, then how would you feel with Nihilist 66's question? What if Disney sold Marvel and Star Wars?
Oh, it would be party time. It would be party time.
Who would buy them and what would make it better?
Amazon could buy them. Netflix could buy them. I don't know if Netflix got the money like that. Amazon got the money like that. I don't know if Netflix does. I don't even know if I would trust Netflix with that.
I don't know. That's what I was saying.
I don't know if I would trust Netflix.
I mean, I did like Daredevil. I mean, so it's like they had two good ones and then two ones that sucked. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Jessica Jones didn't really suck. I just don't like what they did with season 3.
Right.
Maybe because they knew they were ending it, and that's just how they decided to end it and have her walk off. But, the Punisher was awesome. Daredevil, awesome. And, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. Yeah. So I don't think I would want to see Netflix with either property. Either Marvel or Star. It would. Chaos came through, said he think it'd be worse. I might have
it would have to be. That's the thing. It's like, and again, I don't want to sound like I'm a Disney apologist, but the thing that I ask myself is, who would do better? Now I'm saying I would be happy to see them sell it, but if you're gonna sell it, sells like George Lucas, Star Wars, let George Lucas buy it back. If that's the case, then George Lucas got to buy it back. That's the only way I would feel like 100% comfortable. But beyond that, like, that's the question we got to ask ourselves. We can talk about Disney all day long, but the question is, where is it going to go? Realistically, who else is going to do a better job? What studio that is in rotation right now would do a better job with either Star Wars or the Marvel movies? Like, I just don't see anybody out there that I would say has the infrastructure and the money and the creativity to do any better than what Disney did. Now, I will say this. Disney's issue is not, especially with Star Wars, is not that they don't have the right people there. They just didn't have a clear vision. They didn't have a plan. We've talked about this ad nauseum. They just didn't have a plan. We've seen Disney put out good Star Wars content. Let's not act like Mandalorian wasn't dope. You know what I'm saying? But they stepped out of the way. Exactly. It is about the leadership. So if we allow Feige and Filoni to do them, Star Wars will be all right. If we allow Feige and the MCU to do what they do, then it'll be all right. But what the MCU got to stop doing is being so damn greedy, because greed is what's getting them right now. It's not that they movies and they content is lacking. It's lacking because they're being greedy. They are oversaturating their own IP. Because again, it's not that What If it's trash. It's not that, well, WandaVision was kind of trash. But the point is, both of those shows would have been a lot better had they been spaced a little bit more and had a little bit more been put into it.
I think it'd been better if it at least came out in the order it was supposed to.
That part too. Absolutely.
Then yeah,
absolutely.
We would have gotten the hype that we were hyped for.
41 to 14, man.
Palindrome.
Y'all welcome, because we saved y'all from sitting through 3 hours of a whooping.
Right. Straight beat.
You know what I'm saying? How about them Cowboys? Where them haters at? Where Aunt Seals at? You still in here? You still lurking, bro?
He's
what them Colts do this week, bro? What them Colts do? We 2-1 right now. I just want to say, and a minute away from being 3-0. If the most cheatingest mother this side of the Mississippi wasn't playing for Tampa Bay, we would have had 3 wins. But I digress. We are not here to talk sports.
We're just fanboy dreaming.
Fanboy dreaming.
That's all we doing.
That's it, man.
Yeah. I think if we got the hype from Loki that we had back in January, if we gotten that first and then rolled into everything else,
right, it
wouldn't have been Agatha all along.
Facts.
It would have been better. Would have been a lot better. But we got what we got, and that's what that is. So I guess the last one for the evening, we had Darth Chaos come through, and he said he's waiting for this Spawn movie with Todd. And I did hear about that they were talking about making a reboot Spawn, which I'm not sure if we can even call that like a reboot. I know they did a movie back in the day, but it's like,
you better respect Michael Jai White.
No, I enjoy the movie. A lot of people don't like the movie, but for that time period, for what they did with it, I thought it was a good movie, to be honest. And I would love to see a 2020 version of Spawn. I think that would be completely amazing, but I just don't think that they're going to do a movie. I don't feel like they would put Spawn in a movie by himself. Let me put it that way. I don't think we get it in a movie by itself. I feel like that would be something that we would probably get if they can successfully do the Midnight Suns. But what worries me is there's like zero talk of Spawn anywhere. Like, Spawn is not a character that's bound by different types of lawsuits or different types of properties. It is, it's very much a Marvel thing, and they are not doing anything with it, despite the fact that they are talking about like Midnight Suns and stuff like that. And I don't know, maybe it's because it has such an adult rating to it.
Yeah.
With the HBO series that came out. But to that point, maybe an HBO Max series with Spawn.
Facts.
I would totally do. I would revisit just like I do with Titans if I got a 13 episode series on HBO Max with Spawn and reboot it. Start it all over again. Put my man back on fire. Kill him for the same reasons. And give me that Spawn show, man. I'm totally down with that. The HBO show that they had back in the day, I was like way too young, shouldn't have been watching it, but I was watching it. Sorry, mama, but I was totally watching it. And that just the way they allowed it to be just an open adult property, like it was. Like, I think as adults now we need that, man.
Right.
I think there's an outcry for properties where, people actually do get yeeted, get their heads chopped off, or maybe get their head slammed in the door several times.
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. Let me ask you a question though. Is the gore what makes those shows good? Like the content that does that. So like The Boys. Would The Boys be as good if you took the gore out?
I don't think so.
I agree. I agree 100%. But my follow-up question to that then is, at what point then does the gore become just a cheap trick? Because that's my fear when you start making content where you turn up the violence. Then it's like, okay, well, is the violence or is the turned up violence the reason that we're even doing this? Because if that's the case, then that to me does not equate good content. The violence, the turned up violence has to fit. And that's why I think The Boys is so great, is because it's out of this world with the gore, but it fits that universe. It fits the narrative. Same thing with Invincible. Yeah, it's crazy, but it fits. It fits the story. Like, what else would you expect if an alien showed up that was more powerful than anybody on Earth and gave zero that's exactly what you're gonna get. So from that respect, it's totally cool and I welcome it. But what I get afraid of is, and this was something that I was afraid of after watching the first season of The Boys, was like, I hope this doesn't catch on and become a thing where studios start thinking, oh, we just need to turn the violence up. That's what people want. It's got to be intelligent violence. Like anything you do has to be intelligent. Anything you do has to be intelligent. Right. Yeah. Right. No, 100%. Yeah. But that's like, for me, my fanboy dream would be more content that intelligently uses gore and the graphic violence. Or like Spawn, to your point. Spawn would be dope if they didn't water it down. Like if you give a Spawn that felt like, let's say maybe that felt like Daredevil or Punisher or something that had that kind of a vibe to it, to where you didn't necessarily shy away from the violence, then it would be dope. Like I'm with that. I would love to check that out. But you have to supplement. But I will say this, both The Boys, like we said, and Daredevil, the violence supplemented the incredible narrative. Like watching Daredevil, I was hooked because of the story, not because I saw somebody get their head smashed in the door. Like that was crazy.
I don't know.
That was crazy. Like it was crazy, but that wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna keep watching this now. That was just more like, oh, they went there. That's what's up. So like, cool. Then we gonna see this and it's gonna be for real. Then I'm here for it. But yeah, that's where, like for me, there's a fine line between it being tasteful and just gratuitous. And when it gets gratuitous, that's when it's just like, okay, now I'm checking out of your content, because at some point I'm going to become desensitized to it and it's not going to mean anything. It's kind of, I look at it the same way we do profanity in movies. Look back, let's say 30, 40 years ago, and how careful they were with profanity in movies and on TV. And now look where we are. You know what I mean? It's almost like using profanity don't even pack the punch that it did 25, 30 years ago, because it's not shocking to hear it. Like the emphasis ain't there anymore. Like, it makes sense because that's how people talk. But back in the day, if somebody was like, "No, that," like you felt that,
right?
Now somebody say, and you like, sit your little 3-year-old self down on the corner somewhere,
right?
You know what I'm saying? It's like ain't nobody worried about that now. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing, man. You just got to be intelligent with it.
Excuse me. Spawn is an Image Comics property.
Image Comics.
But to that point, then we'll probably never see Spawn ever again.
You don't think some independent studio might decide they want to do Spawn all over again, man?
If we do, man, we'll be like Life, and we'll be as old as Eddie and Martin in that movie. Talk about, you finally got a Spawn movie. Because I just don't see it going anywhere too big. And I'm looking at the list of characters. So you remember when the Abomination was in the Shang-Chi trailer, and I was telling you that he looked like another character, I just couldn't think of his name.
Yeah.
So it totally is an Image Comics character named the Dragon, or Savage Dragon.
Okay.
And that is who, for some reason, I thought it could have been. And it's in the Discord for you. And you'll see, because I thought he was wearing like with the jeans on, the jeans they had my man wearing. I was like, is he wearing a t-shirt too? Like,
Okay.
And it kind of threw me off a little bit. But yeah, I thought he was Savage Dragon. But now that I know that it is Image Comics, yeah, I'm dropping all expectations on seeing anything Spawn from Spawn.
Man. Hey, man, look, Michael Jai White may decide he just want to go on and pick it up and redo it.
I mean, that would be dope. I would totally be down for it, but I can tell you right now, like, okay, at least we know about Spawn. At least it was pushed through a reputable company at the time.
Right.
That people caught wind of it.
See,
I
look,
love Michael Jai White's movie, and you probably know where I'm going with this.
and look,
He comes out with a lot of C-list movies.
Yes. But
that
my
we don't know
point,
about.
my point was, and what I was about to say was, and I think this would be one incredible way to bring it full circle and to wrap it up. Because then he can reboot Spawn, and we can learn that Spawn is no one other than the eventual result of Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite, I knew. What if Al Simmons never got burnt and sent to hell?
Exactly. Or
he becomes Black Dynamite.
what if Black Dynamite's real name is Al Simmons?
Oh.
Hmm?
He got out of the game before he went and did.
Got burnt, went to hell, and became Spawn. All that would bring it full circle and have Spawn throw something at somebody, jump on screen, and be like, I threw that in the room.
Right. Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
And then I guess what they could do is, because that happened and Black Dynamite was such an awesome person and the world mourned, that's when we got Universal Soldier 2.
There you go. Bingo. You see, look, you learning how this game works. This is how you connect the dots, man. This is how you do it. Yeah, man.
Oh, man. That totally
Fanboy dreaming at his finest.
Right. That means we got to make Jean-Claude Van Damme the villain in the new Spawn movie.
Yes.
If they do it, the villain has got to be Jean-Claude.
Facts.
I think Michael Jai White would still do it.
I think so too. I think he can still pull it off. I know that. Now here's the question, straight up though. Which one would you rather have, a Spawn sequel or a Black Dynamite sequel?
I feel like, why not both?
Yeah, look, that's a fair answer. That's a fair answer. Yeah, man.
Give me that. I'd take both of those. That would be dope.
That's what's up.
Or maybe
man.
a Blood and Bone too, because if my man didn't bring back old 90s action films in that movie and make them modern, like my man ain't catch a bullet,
that part,
blood or bone. That whole movie, he was completely
Stop
OP,
it.
total badass in that whole movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, I felt like if Nicolas Cage was black, that's what we got.
Right. We still got to do a Black Dynamite watch party, man. We still got to make that happen.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
But
well,
I think it's about that time.
I think
it is
as well.
I think it is. So, you know, as we always say, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the
hell. Ooh.
I had to get you. I know
it.
Oh man.
You did
but
it.
yes, you have got to get the hell up out of here. My man, another one down, man.
Another one down, man. Make sure you trip on that like on the way out, subscribe,
yes,
Discord, all that good stuff.
And where exactly will we be catching them? Not there. Not there. Absolutely not there.
Because I was thinking we'd probably catch them in the next episode.
That's more like it. That's more like it.
Yeah, there we go. Stay bloody, my friends.
Indeed.